any way you want it. That's the way you need it, any way you want it.
We should just sit here and watch how amazing we are.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Cheers!
Ah.
Job well done. Welcome to the behind the scenes of Any Way You Want It. This video we just released. It's out in the world right now. I'm sitting here with Ellie, obviously.
And I'm sitting here with Jeff.
Anyway, so we're here to talk about all the goings-ons that happened leading up to and after the shoot and the release of Any Way You Want It. It's doing pretty well. This is the day after we released it. Over 100,000 on Facebook in the first day. That's good.
I saw a lot of comments about like getting Glee vibes and things like that.
I mean, it's a happy song.
It is a happy song.
It's a happy song.
I like doing happy songs.
Yeah. And in fact, this is kind of funny that you brought that up, because this is the opener to our show, and we struggled with this for so long because we had this really great opener, Don't Stop Me Now. We sang it for years and years and years, and the reason that we didn't replace it is because we were all just so torn about, like, what do we replace it with? And initially, when I sat down, like, we had all these options, and I think I sat down to arrange
Stone in Love.
Stone in Love.
Stone in Love.
Great song. And then as I was working on that one, I was like, oh, kind of Any Way You Want It works over the top of this. And then I was like, well, why don't we just do Any Way You Want It? Because everyone knows that song.
Yes.
And Stone in Love is
one of my favorites.
but not super well known.
It depends on who you, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I put it out in the world, and the guy's like, oh, this is good. Maybe we'll put it in at the end of the show. I was like, fine. Anyway, so we've been performing it a year now in the show.
The way we want.
At the beginning of the show. Because that's how I wanted it. And there were a couple challenges with arranging this tune. Obviously, it's a Journey song, which means Steve Perry is singing it, and he's like well, it used to be. He's still singing.
I actually am not, I haven't heard him sing recently. I've heard that he's singing, but I don't know if he's not stratospheric anymore or like why. I've heard mixed stories about why he left the band, and I'm just not sure what the official story is.
Maybe he had...
I can't remember if it was because of his voice or if it was because of some other physical
thing. Well, he definitely, like, his voice definitely got lower as he got older. And
for sure.
Like Bon Jovi just ragged himself out.
That's right.
And so, like...
But that's a lifestyle. Those guys live...
Yeah, but also it's not easy to sing that high, which is why we do this song one half step lower.
Right, yeah. There's several reasons for that, but...
Yeah, I remember when I was putting this, I put it in the original key and sent it to Ellie, and I was like, hey, there's a high note in the bridge. I think it was a high D. You sing this, and we were sitting at Mickey's Very Merry.
That's right.
And
Disney.
And I was playing you the chart, and you were like, yeah, I can do that. And then he sat with it for a week, and he texted me, and he's like, dude, you need to lower that a half step.
If I think about doing this over and over and over and over and over again, I probably should not commit to this. And then we lowered it, and I still can't do it over and over and over.
No. I mean, it's tough. It's a hard song. It's a hard song to sing. Voice play is very, we're blessed to have two incredible tenors. Obviously, something in your kitchen is blinking at me. Oh, that was the lightning coming through your...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bad lightning.
I have a little light port in my kitchen.
But we're blessed to have two incredible tenors. Jay is getting higher every day.
He is.
But yeah, so Earl and Ellie really hold down the top phenomenally well. You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's the one compliment you'll get this whole video.
You guys, mark it down on the calendar.
It happened today. So yeah, so we've lowered it a half step. But I even believe that the current lead singer of Journey, Arnell doesn't sing in the original key either. He does a great job, but it's...
I mean, it's just, there's no reason not to lower it. There's basically no reason, unless you're like, I sound great in that key and I'm going to be able to do it all the time, then go for it. But there's not really a good there's not a good case for keeping it in that key for no reason.
No, there's not. There's not. Especially when you got, people who are like, I don't want to sing in that key. And then there's no reason to argue. You just go, oh.
Yeah, you can do it more times.
I guess we'll just sing it lower. I'll just sing lower then.
Exactly.
Thanks.
There's no good reason not to lower it.
Yeah, so there was that challenge right away, but then there was also the challenge, because this is a very guitar-driven song.
Yeah.
You know, there's like, because it's, let me, I actually pulled it. Yeah, right, all that stuff. Yeah. Wait. All those hits here. All that stuff, right? And so if we were lesser arrangers, we would have just gone, any way you want it, that's the way you need it, any way you want it, da 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 da. But that's not how we roll. There are some groups that do that, and that's fine.
It's fine.
We don't do that. So that was a challenge. Figured out. I just kind of ignored it. Really, is how it worked out. I'm like, that sounds like a problem. I'm just gonna pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah, 'cause when you're singing in a cappella too, it's more. The singing parts are more challenging because the singing parts are the whole thing. You know, so you're. It's not just like you're singing and Earl singing above me while I'm singing the Steve Perry line. You know, like kind of thing.
Yes.
You know, or he's singing the guitar. He sings the guitar parts. I think
he does it once. Yeah. He does the guitar and the lead.
Yeah.
All at the one time.
Yeah.
He's
so
gifted.
It's harder to do that than it is
For
to
sure.
sing with a band. Where
Yeah.
the guys are like, all I have to do is barely hit this, and it makes the loudest noise you've ever heard.
Yeah, there's that, because it's also like, okay, with a guitar, you also have the distortion, and maybe there's an octave on that guitar, so you get like with one or two notes, you're getting all these frequencies, and we have to fill all that up with just
Yeah.
really four voices, and if Lane throws in a fifth harmony, that's rare, but
Yeah.
you know, so making that happen is always a challenge. But that's not really about the video.
No, that's true.
Shall we dig into
We
the video?
digress. Yeah.
Okay,
let's dig
so
in.
this was a. Let's talk about the day of the shoot, right? So, day of the shoot.
Right.
This was the second video we shot that day.
That's right.
Or was it the first?
This was the
This was number
second-
two.
This was number 2
Because we shot Mr. Blue Sky in the same space,
on the same day.
on the same day, in
Earlier.
the
in this
same
video. Yeah.
6 hours.
Something like that.
Yeah. We just moved the lights, changed clothes,
Right.
same camera guy, same venue,
Different program.
different program.
We'll get into that later.
I don't understand.
The lighting program.
Right. So we did this as a one shot, and how many takes did it take us to get this right?
And there was
I
actually,
say we get it. We got it right every
we
time.
got it right, but right.
Camera
the
guy- camera
the camera.
choreography.
So the hard thing about doing a single take is that if the camera guy isn't familiar with who sings what, then he's got to learn that right there on the spot, and
Yeah.
then you're dealing with whether the camera's going to be in focus, out of focus. If when it goes in and out of focus, is that going to be pleasant?
And there have been
You
some
know?
people some trolls on YouTube, and they're like, "This is out of focus." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Come
we-
on."
We tried something different.
Yeah, you know.
You know.
And we actually, my wife Kathy was actually gracious enough to be there that day to help us out. So she knows the song because she's seen it a bajillion times. And she was calling out the next shot to Andy, our camera guy, as he's like holding this camera. He's
By
like,
the way,
he's
it's
like,
amazing.
Ellie, Earl,
Yeah.
this is Jeff. So she's like, you'll hear it in the. I'll play it for you.
Get ready to go on Jeff.
It's actually pretty funny. And Andy's like, okay. So talk to me about these lights because
Okay.
they're fun. They are fun.
Yeah, so
But-
you may or may not have noticed there were some like tube lights in the background.
Oh, you noticed.
Jeff kind of came up with this idea to have these tube lights that would automatically be programmed to the music, essentially.
This is not what I said. Our computer.
Well,
here's what I wanted. I said, here's what I want. I want some color. I want some lights that have some color, and I want these kind of lights.
right.
I just want some color. I want the background to have some life, so it's not just like
So they're
seats, empty seats.
So I went and found these lights, and they're very high quality lights. Long story short is that I took it upon myself to program the lights so that they would be moving with the music wirelessly. So they're completely wireless. Everything was programmed on the laptop to the 2 hour track, to the music. and it sent. I used MIDI notes, the same thing that we used when we arranged things on a piano or whatever.
MIDI notes. Hang on, I have it. I look at this. See, I pulled this up earlier because I knew this was going to come in handy. Hang on. This is MIDI.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
Right. So that's not actually audio. The audio that you hear is actually coming from an instrument that's being triggered by MIDI notes.
Yeah, it's technical jargon. You
Anyway,
don't even know
so
that stuff.
instead of the music being played, I made it to where that the lights would be played.
Right.
And
so when Ellie showed me the demo, what was going on, I was like blown away because I was expecting it to be red, and then sometime later in the video to be like blue, but instead I got this Las Vegas light show happening. So you watch the video, like it's kind of a secondary thing because you're only seeing it in passing because it's just, the camera's sweeping by us and the lights are back here. But you see this movement, it's kind of exciting. But he did a lot of work that goes unenjoyed by a casual observer.
I had to like sell them on the idea that these lights can do great things.
Yeah, they're great. They're great lights.
And there's a lot of ways we could use them.
They can also turn orange and use them as a carrot nose.
That is my favorite feature, is the carrot nose feature. It's marked right on the box. And everything.
Is it? I didn't notice that.
Carrot.
There was a lot that went into this leading up to it, and then obviously post was easy because just no editing involved. You just color correct and then slap a title on it and go. But leading up to it, how do you, as a singer, you're a singer, congratulations, approach singing a song like this that's so well known and so iconic, and you could get a lot of trolling if you did this the wrong way. Not that you're sensitive to that.
Well, I mean, just singing Steve Perry, you just do it very carefully, is what you do. But I don't really have a great answer to that, other than just you kind of let it rip, and you make sure that the spirit. I think for me, the spirit of the original has to be in it a little bit, unless we are just going a departure away from something. Like if the decision was made, like we're doing a departure here,
Right.
then great. But other than that, I just go. I need it to sound like me, and I need people to feel the spirit of the original a little bit. Because we are doing a cover, and we're doing that on purpose.
Yes.
So I think that's kind of what my thoughts are when I'm recording it, and then just be really careful.
Just be really because you could blow out a chord
Yeah.
here. And there aren't like a lot of rock voices in a cappella music. Ellie has one of those great rock voices that you can just kind of make it. So it was like I had every confidence that you could pull it off, and you did a great job.
And I've sung some of these tunes before.
Oh, tell us those stories.
Oh yeah. So before, well, kind of in the middle of being
In the time before
voice play, one of the bands that I was in happened with some friends that I was in the other bands with, and basically we were on tour. We were on our first tour.
Say that word again.
Tour?
Tour.
Yeah, tour.
Go ahead.
Tour. Anyways, so I got a call from my buddy Kirk McKim, and he said, "Hey man," he's from Texas, and he said, "Put together a Journey tribute band. We need somebody who can sing that Steve Perry stuff." And I said, I don't think I'm your guy, man.
You went, oh, crap.
No, but this is a really cool guy that I love being in a band with, and
Shh.
my dog's freaking out.
You're not Steve Perry. Go away.
And so I really wanted to do this, and so when we were off tour, and they were going to be booking some shows, I said, all right, I'll learn some tunes. And I really loved it. It was called Raised on Radio, and we predominantly played in Houston and in the greater Texas states. It was a lot of fun to play with them.
So that gives you like the fundamentals in the background to approach something like this, which is
Yeah, for sure.
definitely putting you front and center.
Yes. But this is...
There's not a lot of room for, especially when it's all over the internet, there's not a lot of room for error.
Yes.
There's a little bit of correction we can do in post.
I'll say I was less nervous about doing... I remember doing the first gig with Raised on Radio and singing Steve Perry tunes for the people that were huge fans.
Oh, yeah.
And the kind of nerves that I had then versus doing this video with us. I was a lot less nervous doing this, but
Oh, that's good.
but at the same time going, don't mess this up. Try to do something good here,
Yeah, and also this is like as an opener to a show. This is a ballsy statement because if this is the first song you're hitting people with in the show,
Absolutely.
what is the second song going to be, and then what's the last song going to be? Well, really, with our show, you just that one song in the beginning,
Yeah.
and then it's all downhill from there.
That's correct.
You just
yeah.
want to kind of just like, oh, I saw the one.
That was
I'm
good.
out.
Now we can be done.
Now we
with
can
this
be done.
show. Yeah.
That's all there is.
Correct.
Yeah. But speaking of, there's a note in here I wanted you to address. This is the one we were talking about earlier. There we go. That one.
Yeah, of course we're doing this.
Yeah. I think it's like appropriate that we're leading up to that note, and you're all singing "Hold on, dear God, hold on," and you go. It's just like, wow, that's really high.
It is a high note to hit.
There's not a lot going in.
In
You know,
that
it's like I think you make it look too easy because there's not a lot in the comments about. Holy crap! People just expect that of you guys, I guess.
Maybe.
They're like not impressed with that. I can hit anything below middle C and
Yeah,
people lose their minds.
It's the era of the bass.
It is.
Good
It's
for
like
you.
a bass
Enjoy it.
renaissance.
The tenors had their time.
Did they?
Yeah, I think so.
The 80s. Yeah, it's a super impressive high note.
Yeah.
Um,
It's all mask.
is it? People don't know what that means. You put
Oh,
it.
well, it's kind of like
You visualize where you.
Yeah.
Like it
it's-
resonates
it's
in
very,
this area.
We call it buzzy. It's very buzzy. It's not like in your nose. It's like right here.
I don't know if you guys have tenors have the same thing, but like if I'm in a dark room and I'm singing bass, all the lights vibrate, in like my eyes vibrate.
Oh yeah.
Does that happen to you
I
too?
get a little. That's why I close my eyes a lot.
Everything kind of goes.
Yeah, I don't get the
Yeah.
vibration like that, but I know what you're talking about. Like,
That's
for
why I
sure.
don't sing bass when I drive because then everything gets squirrely.
Sidetrack. When I really feel sort of like that is on Ride, because there's
nowhere to breathe.
There's nowhere to breathe.
Yeah.
I literally stop where I am in show and I go, and then I do the verse. All in breath.
That was an interesting fact. The lens flares that are happening here, artificial. They were put in post.
Oh yeah, good
Yeah.
job with that. By
You're
the way,
welcome, yeah.
They're perfectly timed.
It didn't take me that long. I slaved onions. Didn't really. It's pretty easy. Oh, we had like 4 different endings for this too. Not this video, but for the arrangement.
That's right, because we
Yeah.
couldn't decide on the.
Yeah. I still like I don't even remember how that goes. And you know what's funny is I lost the original session. I don't know where it is. I ran out of space at some point on my hard
You're
drive.
like delete.
And then I was like, oh, that's backed up already. And then but I don't. I had to rebuild the chart from
Oh, the
scratch. I
archives.
was pissed.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
the part work. That's right.
Stuff I go through. You don't even know. The trauma I make for myself.
It's part fun and it's part work.
Ah, God. Anyway,
Yeah,
on that note, shall we call it a night?
I think we do. Yeah,
I,
this has
um,
been
Lovely.
a wonderful evening. Oh, you're out.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't have very much. You're
That's
stingy
okay.
on the.
No. Well, no.
Oh, there's
well,
a good.
show the bottle.
Well, there's a good reason for this, which we can't get into right now, but you'll be seeing it soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll have a nip.
Nip.
Cheers. Job well done. Thanks for watching, guys.
See you next
And
time.
thank you for all your support. And we like you.
And I'm gonna drink this now.
Yeah, here we go.